This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It is 5 o'clock here on your Wednesday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Here's what's making headlines on this February the 26th. A bill to crack down on distracted driving is moving forward in the State House. The new restrictions it would put on driver cell phone use and its next steps to become law.
And Lowe's is looking to hire nearly 1,000 workers right here in central Indiana. The opportunities they are offering for these seasonal positions.
And the NFL Combine kicks off today right here in Indianapolis. A look at the fan activities and the push to keep the football event here in the Circle City. But first, we need to get a check of your Storm Team 6 forecast.
That's right. You heard the sound there. It is a Storm Team 6 alert day. We have a lot going on, so let's get right to Todd.
Yeah, and the snow is going to eventually impact a lot of people here across central Indiana. As of right now, it's not causing too many issues out there. We have some patchy fog, we have some drizzle, and as you can see, we're starting to fill in the snow showers, but it's not super widespread as of yet. And it's really these darker shaded areas where we have the heavier snow shower activity. And before the sun comes up, it's not another question. There could be a quick coating, but I do think most of the morning drive, you're just going to be dealing with wet roadways across the area. For one, temperatures are still above freezing in some areas, and road temperatures are still very, very warm. Some heavier snow bands here in Lafayette to Delphi up into Logansport, and it's these northern areas that are going to end up with the highest snowfall totals throughout the duration of this storm, which is going to take us through much of the day. You notice the back edge of the storm system is off to our west, so this is all going to have to swing through. Snow showers will ramp up as the day goes on, so it's really this afternoon into the evening commute that I'm more concerned about than this morning's commute. You do notice we are below freezing now in some locations to the north, still at 34 in Indy, 37 in Bloomington. The winter weather advisory is posted essentially from I-70 to the north. This is where we'll probably see about 1 to 4 inches, maybe some 5-inch totals well to the north. So it's not a super big storm system for us, but certainly enough to slicken up the roadways as the day progresses. I think it's really this afternoon as we get into the heavier snow and then into the evening hours once the sun starts to set that we'll see the bulk of the accumulation or issues on the roadways. You can see the temperatures just slowly start to fall. The other thing, the wind really going to pick up. We'll talk much more about the snowfall totals coming up in just a little bit, but right now let's get you updated on the roadways with Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. The good news right now, no crashes to report out there despite any precipitation that may be coming down in your community. So let's take a look at your drive times over here in Brownsburg, heading eastbound on I-74 to the I-465 ramps. No delays, a quick 7-minute drive. Let's take you over to the northwest side, I-465 here and 38th Street. You can see traffic is moving along about up to speed. We'll continue to keep a very close eye on those roads throughout the morning, and of course we'll keep you updated on any delays. Well, a proposal that would ban you from using a handheld cell phone while driving is one step closer to becoming law here in the state of Indiana.
The state Senate passed the bill yesterday. You would still be able to use your phone with hands-free Bluetooth technology. Supporters say that it would combat distracted driving and make Indiana roads safer.
So last month, you may remember, we talked to a woman who's been advocating for years for a law like this. Kelly Sires' husband was hit and killed by a car back in 2011. An investigation found that the driver was distracted using his phone just moments before the crash.
No one is good at texting or driving or emailing and driving. Driving is a privilege, and that we need to be safe when we're doing it.
The House must still give final approval on the bill before it heads to the governor's desk.
A death investigation is underway in Marion, Indiana, and police say they suspect foul play. The Marion Police Department says they found a man dead in the 2000 block of South Meridian Street around 8 yesterday morning. Police have identified the victim as 30-year-old DeAndre J. Oliver. Officers have not released the cause of death. The Marion Police Department is asking for you to call them if you have any information about this case.
Metro Police are asking for your help to identify this robbery suspect. IMPD says that he's accused of robbing a Speedway convenience store on the south side of Indy last month. The man went into the Speedway store around the 3600 block of Keystone Avenue back on January 19th. Investigators say that he tried to pay for an item, but his card was declined. According to police, he then tried to take the item by force, began throwing throwing displays and a fire extinguisher as he ran away. If you think you've seen this man or you know who he is, please call Crime Stoppers anonymously. That number is 317-262-TIPS.
Today is Ash Wednesday, the beginning of Lent for Christians around the world, and many will mark the day by getting ashes on their foreheads. If you can't attend a church service, there are some churches in central Indiana offering ashes to go. Christ Church Cathedral on the Circle will be distributing them at 8 a.m., 11 a.m., and 4 p.m. Northminster Presbyterian Church at 1660 Kessler Boulevard will be giving them out in the south parking lot from 4 to 6 p.m. And in Carmel United Methodist Church will offer drive-through ashes from 6:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. at 612 South Rangeline Road.
It is 5:06 after finding a dog who once saved his owner's life on death's door, is now on death's door rather, and a local animal shelter is sharing a message for any pet owners who may be struggling. So we first introduced you to 15-year-old Romeo back in November of 2016. Firefighters say that he woke up his owner after a fire started in their home on Fletcher Avenue. Eventually, the family could not care for Romeo anymore, so they gave him away. He was recently given to Leanne's Animal Rescue, suffering from malnourishment, dehydration, and a severe infection. Leaders with the rescue say if you cannot care for a pet, ask for help before it's too late.
Even if it's a Facebook post, I need help. You know, my dog doesn't have food, or I need help, my dog keeps getting pregnant. I will do anything in my power to get them spayed, to get the puppies homes, to get them all microchipped.
Leanne's Animal Rescue has a list of resources for pet owners on their website. You can find a link from our website at theindychannel.com.
Lowe's is looking to hire nearly 1,000 Hoosiers as they prepare for the busy spring season. They're looking to fill seasonal positions, including cashiers, lawn and garden associates, stockers, and loaders. There are also some full-time positions available. Walk-in interviews will be held on Wednesday, March 4th and Saturday, March 7th from 10 to 7 on both days.
A lot of our great employees started out seasonal. And what I mean by that is you come in, you do a great job. Usually we can find you a home in one of our stores. My own personal story, I started out as a seasonal part-time employee and was able to kind of work my way up through the company to the position I hold now. So there's a lot of opportunities out there.
You can also apply online. We've got a link to that application on our website, hiringhoosiers.com. The NFL Combine is underway, and hundreds of players, along with NFL teams, media, and fans, are all in Indianapolis for the annual showcase of the best college talent.
So Indianapolis has been the host city for the Combine for more than 30 years, and so the push is on to keep it here in the Circle City. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with what officials are saying about a possible change. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So right now, the NFL Combine is set to stay in Indy through 2021, but Colts owner Jim Irsay says that he wants it to be here for many years to come. The Combine is a big economic impact for the city. According to Colts News, last year, the Combine brought in more than 5,000 people, including players, NFL teams, media, and fans. And on top of that revenue the Combine brings in, Irsay credits the central location and the medical attention players can get here as major reasons to keep it right here in Circle City.
But the main thing is we do it better than anyone else. I mean, no one can do it as good as us. And in the end, isn't that what it's about?
Again, the Combine is set to stay in Indy through 2021, and there's no word on if and where the Combine could potentially move after that. So today, quarterbacks, tight ends, and wide receivers will do their bench press test, and you can come watch if you want to from 2:30 to 6 today at the Convention Center. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. Well, the Pacers making a big comeback 2 days after playing one of their worst games this season. They took on the Charlotte Hornets at home last night without Victor Oladipo and Jeremy Lamb. Indiana controlled the game, maintaining a large lead after halftime. They finished the game with a 39-point lead, winning 119-80. 6 Pacers finished in the double figures, including Domantas Sabonis, who led the team with 21 points. The Pacers play in Portland, the Trailblazers. That's at home tomorrow night. But first here today, we got to get a check of our Storm Team 6 forecast. Todd, it's a Storm Team 6 alert day.
Yeah, and that's because accumulating snow is going to fall across central Indiana here throughout the course of the day today. This morning, we're starting to see the snow move in, but temperatures right now are still hovering above freezing, so that's good. That means even as the snow falls, it'll just melt on contact with the ground, but you notice the temperature trend will take us down to freezing by time we get to 8 a.m. So here's the snow right now. Pretty good band of snow starting to set up here here in Hendricks County. Otherwise, it's scattered snow showers to the north. For those of you in southern locations, your temperatures are still well above freezing. It's patchy drizzle right now in and around the Bloomington area over towards Columbus, but some light snow here in Lebanon, up towards Tipton and into Lafayette. I do think most of your commute into work should be in decent shape here throughout the morning hours. The exception is maybe to the north here, where temperatures are already falling below freezing, but the intensity of the snow will pick up later on this afternoon as what you see off to our west starts to make its way through the area. So I think the best chance of accumulating snow is going to be from the noon hour throughout the evening commute compared to at least this morning, and then things will start to wrap up pretty quickly once we get into the evening hours as we taper things off to just a few flurries. But as the precipitation comes to an end, the wind will really start to gust. We'll see wind gusts near 30 miles per hour later on today. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. The CDC is issuing a new warning about the coronavirus outbreak here in the United States. Why officials are telling the public to prepare for it to disrupt our lives.
And a new scam is targeting those who donate to political campaigns. Still have the latest robocall tactic that you need to watch out for. We'll be right back.
Days from 4:30 to 7.
A new warning about the coronavirus. The CDC now saying, quote, this might be bad. Experts say there's a strong chance of a serious outbreak in the U.S. and Americans should be prepared for significant disruptions to their lives. Overnight, we learned a member of the U.S. military in South Korea has tested positive for the virus. ABC's Mona Kosar-Abdi has the latest.
This morning, the first U.S. military service member has been added to the list of Americans infected with the new coronavirus. The soldier is stationed in South Korea and was under self-quarantine when he tested positive. And now the CDC says it's not a question of if the virus will spread in the U.S., but a matter of when.
We are asking the American public to work with us to prepare in the expectation that this could be bad.
Health officials say communities should get ready to take drastic measures to control the outbreak, including closing schools and stores, adding that people should make sure they keep essentials like medications on hand in case pharmacies are forced to close. A new study finds the death rate from the coronavirus is 2.3%. That's compared to only 0.1% for the flu. But that same research finds most coronavirus patients, 82%, showed only mild cold-like symptoms. And while the president is trying to calm concerns, insisting the U.S. is well prepared, lawmakers on Capitol Hill are not so convinced. During a hearing Tuesday, senators from both parties questioned whether the White House's request for $2.5 billion in emergency funding is enough to prepare for an outbreak.
This is not the time to try to shortchange the American people.
I am very concerned that we are not prepared for this or for anything like it in the future.
Mona Kosar-Abdi, ABC News, New York.
It's 5:16. Former Trump advisor Roger Stone is returning to the courtroom with a request for a new trial because of an alleged juror misconduct. Stone was sentenced last week to just over 3 years in prison for hindering probes into Russia and last presidential campaign. Because of Stone's request, the judge allowed attorneys to question some of the jurors yesterday. One of the testimonies came from the forewoman, Tamika Hart. She said she did not remember her social media posts related to the Trump and Stone case. Hart allegedly posted comments on Facebook defending the team of lawyers that prosecuted Stone. The judge has not yet ruled on Stone's challenge.
Receding floodwaters in Mississippi are now revealing a lot of damage. Some residents in the southern part of the state were displaced as water flowed into their homes. The roads were also covered near the overflowing rivers. Some have since washed away, like seen here. The mayor of Columbia says he plans to file a declaration for a state of emergency due to the damage. Back here in central Indiana, however, we are preparing for some snowfall. Meteorologist Todd Clausen checking in on what we can expect.
Yeah, as the snow starts to ramp up this afternoon, that's when I think we'll really start to run into the issues, Meredith. So as you mentioned, it is a Storm Team 6 alert day. And we'll put the impact level at high because everybody's going to be dealing with some form of precipitation. For those of you in southern locations, initially it's just still going to be some patchy drizzle and light rain showers. And even once the snow starts to ramp up, it'll take a little while to stick on the roads. So the sun is getting stronger here as we get towards the end of February, or we're in the end of February. for. Even though it's behind the clouds, it still works its magic. And we have to remember, we've been in the 30s and 40s, so the road temperatures are above freezing. So the way you overcome that is you get intense snow, or you have to wait for the temperatures to start to fall or the sun to set. So there's some things working against a lot of snow on the roadways, at least initially. But once we get towards the evening hours and those temperatures start to fall, we'll start to see, I think, some issues on the roads, especially up to the north. But for your morning commute, they're definitely going to be wet. You may see some snow falling, but I don't know how much of an issue we'll have with snow-covered roads, at least this morning. In fact, as to the north, there's a pretty good band in Lafayette up towards Delphi, in between Frankfurt as well as Lebanon. But in and around the metro area, with temperatures hovering right around 33 degrees, we're still kind of toggling back and forth between some patchy drizzle and a few snowflakes starting to mix in. All this is a pretty good burst of snow that's now starting to take place in Hendricks County. So the earlier you get on the roads this morning, probably the better off you will be across the area. But the main band of heavier snow, or what's going to cause most of the accumulation, is off to our west. And this is what's going to have to pinwheel through the area. Winter weather advisory in place, essentially from I-70 to the north. This is where the bulk of the accumulation will take place. If you're not in the advisory, you'll still see a little bit of some slushy snow, but your accumulation is not going to be very significant going forward throughout the day today. So here's the snow ramping up by mid-morning into the afternoon hours, and then it will start to taper off later on this evening pretty quickly, and by 8 o'clock we're basically done. So this is just a very quick hitting area of low pressure that's going to swing through the area for us. I think generally 1 to 3 inches for most of us. I know this 5-inch total jumps out at you, but I want to emphasize, if you're going to see a 5-inch total, it is going to be well to the north. Most of us are probably between about 1 and 4 inches of snow, and then from Bloomington over towards Columbus, it's maybe a slushy inch of snow, and that is just about it. Here are some specific snowfall totals coming in from the models in Indianapolis. These are 4 different computer models, and you see everybody's right around 1 to 2 inches. So this is not a big time snow for us, but obviously could cause some issues on the roadways. Once we get past today, really clear sailing all the way into the weekend. We'll have plenty of sunshine. The problem is temperatures will be running well below normal. Once we do get back above normal next week, with temperatures in the 50s, we're looking at rain showers in the forecast. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on your roads as that precipitation is falling down. You can see it looks like mostly rain over here on the west side, I-465 and West Washington Street. Wet roads and traffic is picking up, but it looks like everything's still traveling about up to speed this morning. A lot of folks merging onto the interstate, as you can see. So let's take a look right now at our traffic now maps as you're heading out there. No delays on northbound State Road 37 from Greenwood, Stones Crossing Road to the I-465 ramp. So that is good news. And across the county, as you're hopping on northbound I-65 from Southport Road to I-70 at the north split, it is a 10-minute drive. So that is traveling up to speed as well. Let's take you up to the northeast side, I-465 and I-69. You can see wet roads. Watch for any slick spots this morning, and we'll keep you updated if there are any delays.
The Better Business Bureau is warning of a scam targeting those who want to contribute to political campaigns. The BBB says a robocall will get your number and ask you to give money to a campaign. If you say yes, the call then transfers you to a live person who takes your credit card information. Again, this is a scam, and the information could be used to steal your identity. The BBB suggests screening your calls and staying away from unsolicited robocalls.
It is 5:21 in Texas. Demolition crews are still chipping away at what many are calling the Leaning Tower of Dallas. The building was supposed to come down after an implosion last week, but it didn't work. You can see it there. Now demolition crews are using a wrecking ball to take down what's left. In the meantime, many are turning to the site turning it into a temporary tourist destination, taking some selfies for social media. When they do tear it down, developers plan to build a mixed-use complex with hotels and restaurants.
Well, it's going to take them quite some time with that little wrecking ball there,
I know.
Lauren.
Interesting.
All right. Well, the Sharks are back with a new episode of Shark Tank this Friday. But first, you can get a behind-the-scenes look at how they choose budding entrepreneurs for the show. We saw part of the process when the show held a casting call right here in Indianapolis last summer. Now, ABC's 2020 is talking to the executive producers to find out about what it takes to make it in front of the Sharks. You can watch the special Shark Tank Greatest of All Time right here on RTV6 tonight at 10. The show's new episodes begin this Friday at 8.
Thousands of tumbleweeds are taking over a man's house. After the break, how they all got there and what the homeowner plans to do to clean this up. It's 5:22. Stick around. We'll be right back.
9 a.m. to 9 p.m. at Ashley Home Store.
One man in Washington is dealing with a big mess after his yard was taken over by tumbleweeds. Dick Wild says a windstorm blew thousands of tumbleweeds into his yard from nearby farmland. This isn't the first time it's happened, though. He says the tumbleweeds also flooded his house like this in the mid-90s. To get them out, all he can do is carry them by hand to an empty field down a hill. He says it could take about 2 weeks to get them all removed, and he is going to get his grandchildren to help. I think that should have been, he's going to make his grandchildren help, because I would have been running in the other direction.
Grandma
and my grandpa said clear out these tumbleweeds.
You guys doing anything Saturday?
Yeah. Wow, look at how tall those are,
I'd like to see you. Come on over.
Yeah.
We've got a fun new game to play.
Yeah. Something we don't worry about here. That's
right. Yeah, but we have some snow to worry about throughout the day today. You'll see some flakes on your morning commute here this morning, but in a lot of locations, temperatures are still above freezing. So I don't think we'll see major issues for your morning drive, but as we get into the afternoon hours, the intensity of the snow is going to pick up as that band that's off to our west will start to make its way through the area. We're still looking at about 1 to 3 inches of accumulation here in the metro area. We'll talk about it in more detail coming up in just a few minutes.
It is controllable, and you can live your life.
An RTV6 exclusive, Terry Curry in his first sit-down television interview discussing his fight against prostate cancer, his routine to maintain a healthy lifestyle, and his message for men. That story coming up only here on RTV6. We'll be right back.
Today at 10 on RTV6. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Indiana is joining with nearly 40 other states to investigate e-cigarette company Juul.
We're working for you this morning with details on what's being looked at and what Attorney General Curtis Hill has to say about that investigation. And the NFL Combine is back in the Circle City this week.
Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live with a look at today's events, how you can participate in the push to keep the annual event in Indianapolis. But first, it is a Storm Team 6 alert day because we are anticipating some snow.
Yeah, so if you're in town maybe for the Combine, we're sorry. It's not always like this in February. And Todd, we've had a pretty mild month so far, and here's the chances of snow.
Yeah, you know, and it's more of a nuisance snow for us. It's not a major storm system for us by any means, but it will impact your commute, especially this afternoon or this evening, I think, more than this morning. There is some snow falling currently across the area. Up to the north, there's this pretty good band of snow right along 421 over to 31 as you work your way out of Clinton County into Tipton County. Some light snow north of Alexandria, but as you come into the metro area, you notice we're still toggling back and forth between some patchy drizzle and the snow, although this is a pretty good burst of snow here just to the northwest of Brownsburg currently. But as we go throughout the morning drive, the ground, I think, is for the most part just going to be wet. So you'll deal with wet roadways, you'll deal with some falling snow, you'll deal with some patchy drizzle in southern locations, maybe a little bit of patchy fog. So your morning commute's definitely not A-OK. There are some hazards out there, but it's really this afternoon that we ramp the accumulating snow up. You notice we're still at 33 in Indy, 37 in Bloomington, a little colder to the north where we are below freezing in Peru already. So it's going to be a heavier wet snow that starts to fall later on today as temperatures will hold pretty steady right around the freezing mark. We'll talk about specific snowfall totals for you coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here's a live look right now at traffic over on the west side. This is I-465 and Washington Street, where you can see traffic is picking up this morning. Wet roads out there, but everything's still moving, so that is good news. Let's take you across town to the east side. Plan out your drive on westbound I-70 from Post Road into the North Split. It is a quick 10-minute drive that is traveling up to speed. Your normal commute for the east side right now on the interstate. And the good news right now around the metro area, no crashes to report. We do want you to know we have one school delay right now. It's on the RTV6 mobile app. That is Marion Community Schools to the north.
The search for a missing 9-year-old continues this morning. Lawrence police issued a silver alert for Kimoni Bennett. Investigators say he was last seen at 4:30 Monday afternoon. According to police, Bennett is believed to be in extreme danger and may require medical assistance. He is described as a black male with brown hair and brown eyes. He is 4 feet 2 inches tall weighing 70 pounds. He was last seen wearing a gray t-shirt, light blue jeans, and tennis shoes. If you think you have seen this little boy, please call the Lawrence Police Department at the number on your screen, 317-545-7575.
The South Bend man charged in the death of his granddaughter after she fell out of a cruise ship window plans to plead guilty. The date for the change of the plea hearing for Salvatore Anello is not yet set. 18-month-old Chloe Wiegand fell and died in July when the cruise ship was docked in Puerto Rico. Anello has said he did not realize the window was open. His attorney released a statement saying the decision to plead guilty was incredibly difficult, but because the agreement includes no jail time and no admission of facts, it's decided it's in the best interests of the family.
New this morning, the white nationalist convicted of shooting and killing 9 members of a historically black church in South Carolina in 2015 is staging a hunger strike. 25-year-old Dylan Roof is on death row at the federal prison in Terre Haute. In letters to the Associated Press, Roof says he's protesting his treatment. He says he's been, quote, targeted by staff, verbally harassed and abused, and treated disproportionately harsh. The allegations could not be immediately verified, and a spokeswoman for the Bureau of Prisons said the agency had no comment. Roof is the first person to be ordered executed for a federal hate crime. Indiana has joined a multi-state bipartisan investigation of the e-cigarette maker Juul.
The 39-state coalition will be looking into the company's marketing and sales practices, specifically to see if it targeted children and teens. The probe will also look into Juul's claims regarding nicotine content, as well as claims about helping people quit smoking. In a statement, Juul says it stopped TV, print, and digital advertising and eliminated most flavors in response to concerns by government and health officials. The flavored pods quickly became popular among teens, becoming the preferred brand of the 60% of high schoolers. Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill released a statement about the coalition saying, quote, vaping poses significant health concerns and it's intended only as an alternative to smoking tobacco. He goes on to say, quote, young Hoosiers need to be aware of these risks. We must encourage them to avoid these products, which should only be aimed at adults who want to quit smoking.
Indianapolis has been the host city for the NFL Combine for more than 30 years, and the push is on to keep it in the Circle City.
That's right. The Combine brings in hundreds of players along with NFL teams, media, fans, parents, which is a big economic boost for our city. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with what Colts officials are saying about a possible change in the future. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Meredith and Lauren. So, yeah, the Combine is set to stay here through 2021, but owner Jim Irsay says he will fight tooth and nail to keep the Combine here in Indianapolis. The Combine is a big economic impact for the city. According to Colts News, last year the Combine brought in more than 5,000 people, including players, NFL teams, media, and fans. On top of the revenue the Combine brings in, Irsay credits the central location and the medical attention the players can get here as major reasons to keep the Combine here in Indianapolis. Irsay says Indy does it better than anyone else, and he sees the Combine staying right here for many years.
You know, really, I think it's been speculation. It's natural. I mean, we'd like a permanent Thanksgiving game. You know, will we get it? Probably not. You know, they want to move the Combine out of Indianapolis. Will it happen? Probably not, in my opinion. But, you know, I'll fight for Indy tooth and nail to keep it here.
Again, the Combine is set to stay in Indy through 2021. No word on if and where the Combine could potentially move after that. Today, quarterbacks, tight ends, and wide receivers will do their bench press test, and you can come watch it today from 2:30 to 6 at the Convention Center. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. Colts owner Jim Irsay is helping Hoosiers fighting addiction. He's pledged $1 million to the IU Health Foundation. That money will be used to increase addiction services for people in need all across Indiana. The foundation released a statement from Irsay that says, in part, quote, addiction is terribly difficult for everyone involved, and it's important that people aren't shamed by this disease because shame kills, end quote. IU Health recently launched 5 regional addiction treatment recovery centers across our state. They offer group, individual, and cognitive behavioral therapy. It is 5:38 on a Storm Team 6 alert day. The roads may be a little dicey at some parts today. Todd, what do we need to know?
Yeah, as you walk out the door here this morning, I think for most part your windshield wipers will be going. For some of you, it's just some rain showers that you're dealing with. There's some patchy drizzle. For others, you'll be dealing with a little bit of snow. So we're going to give you the caution sign for the morning drive. For the most part, I think the roads will just be wet for your morning commute. The exception is maybe some far northern locations where temperatures have already fallen below freezing. But it's really this evening commute that's going to be a little more of an issue. So we'll transition from the yellow caution lights to more of the red light, because at this point, I think we'll start to get slushy to maybe snow-covered roads, because the intensity of the snow is going to pick up this afternoon and into the evening drive. Snow showers right now from Indianapolis to the north, but what we'll really wait on is this band of heavier snow off to our west. That's going to pinwheel and rotate through the area. The other thing we'll have to deal with is the winds. They'll really start to pick up as the intensity of the snow picks up, so visibility will become an issue, as well as those wind gusts get up to about 29 miles per hour. So bottom line is just give yourself some extra time. We'll talk snowfall totals with you coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. It was another fiery debate last night in South Carolina. Straight ahead, who walked away on top ahead of Saturday's primary?
And Colgate is going back to the basics. Coming up, we'll take a look at the brand's new all-natural line. Time right now is 5:39. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Bright Boost, Neutrogena.
Turning now to the presidential race, 7 candidates took the stage in South Carolina Democratic debate last night.
Once again, it was a no-holds-barred clash, candidates zeroing in on frontrunner Bernie Sanders ahead of Saturday's primary. Mary Maloney is in Charleston with a recap of the night.
Bernie Sanders feeling the burn of being the frontrunner.
Bernie and I agree on a lot of things, but I think I would make a better president.
Bernie, in fact, hasn't passed much of anything.
Imagine spending the better part of 2020 with Bernie Sanders versus Donald Trump.
I'm hearing my name mentioned a little bit tonight.
Democratic candidates for president taking shots at the Vermont senator for past comments.
Bernie voted 5 times against the Brady bill.
And current campaign promises.
Bernie Sanders' analysis is right. The difference is I don't like his solutions.
After a disastrous debate performance in Las Vegas, Michael Bloomberg hoping to rebound.
I have been training for this job since I stepped on the pile that was still smoldering on 9/11. I know what to do. I've shown I know how to run a country.
I'm not out of time.
Joe Biden fighting to keep his candidacy afloat.
I intend to win South Carolina, and I will win the African-American vote here in South Carolina.
Candidates attempting to appeal to African-American voters. More than 60% of the Democratic electorate in South Carolina is black, making the voting bloc crucial for any campaign.
It's not just who talks the best, who actually gets things done. And especially with the African-American community, there have been a lot of broken promises.
This is the last time the candidates will be together on stage before the South Carolina primary and delegate-rich Super Tuesday. In Charleston, South Carolina, I'm Mary Maloney.
New this morning, a soldier stationed in South Korea is the first U.S. service member to test positive for the new coronavirus COVID-19. The U.S. Forces Korea says the soldier is stationed at Camp Carroll. The 23-year-old is now in self-quarantine. Health officials are now tracing his whereabouts to determine if anyone else may have been exposed. Meanwhile, the outbreak is still wreaking havoc on the global economy. Tuesday, the Dow dropped nearly 900 points one day after it closed down more than 1,000. The oil industry is also reeling, with OPEC expected to meet next week.
It is 5:45. For the first time, we're seeing video of a controversial arrest of a 6-year-old Florida girl from back in September. Attorneys for Kaya Roll made these body camera videos public on Tuesday, and we want to warn you that some of this video may be hard to watch.
What are those for?
It's for you.
Your hands, okay? Come over here, honey. It's not gonna hurt. No, I want handcuffs on. No, put handcuffs on. Help me.
A 6-year-old was arrested after she reportedly threw a temper tantrum at the school. The video shows her crying and pleading with officers not to put her in the police car. At one point, she can be heard asking for a second chance. Attorneys for the family say they released the video in part to rally support for a Florida bill that would raise the minimum age of arrest to 12. The Orlando Police Department has since apologized and fired one of the arresting officers, that is, in this case.
Another parent has been sentenced in the college admissions scandal. Heiress to the Hot Pocket sandwich fortune, Michelle Janeves, was sentenced to 5 months in prison Tuesday. Janeves paid $100,000 for someone to cheat on college entrance exams for her 2 daughters. She also paid $200,000 to have one of her daughters admitted to the University of Southern California as a fake beach volleyball recruit. Actress Lori Loughlin and her husband are still fighting charges against them. Actress Felicity Huffman served 11 days in prison for her part in the scandal.
It is 5:46. If you've always wanted to go to space, now is your chance. NASA is looking for a new crop of candidates for its training program. The space agency is looking for 20 trainees for the next class. NASA officials say they're looking for people with degrees in math, science, and engineering. You also have to have a master's degree to apply. But the competition, as you can imagine, it's pretty stiff. Since 1959, only 350 people have been selected to train as astronauts. But do you think you got what it takes? Applications for this new class open on Monday. Back here at home, got to get a check of our forecast on a Storm Team 6 alert day. Todd, what's going on outside?
Yeah, the snow will be falling here across much of central Indiana as we progress throughout the day. Right now, we're actually mixing in a little bit of patchy drizzle still as we're still waiting for those temperatures to fall below freezing. We're sitting right now at 33 degrees in Indianapolis. So the snow ramps up in coverage and intensity as we get into the afternoon. It also becomes very windy with gusts up to about 30 miles per hour. So as the heavy wet snow falls, it'll kind of be blowing around a little bit as well. And then the thing we'll have to keep an eye on is warm roads versus the snow. What I mean by that is the ground temperatures and the roadways are pretty warm still. So it's going to take some heavy snow to overcome those warmer roads. So it's going to take a little while, I think, for the roads to become an issue across the area. The one exception this morning is going to be in far northern locations where if you've gotten into the snow a little sooner, your temperatures are a little bit colder. Could be some minor issues for the morning commute up in northern locales, but for most of us, the roads are just going to be wet throughout the morning drive. Frankfort, Lafayette, Tipton to Kokomo, some light snow is falling in and around the metro area. Here's that toggle back and forth between some light snow showers and some patchy drizzle, and then to the south, it's just some plain old rain showers, and then to the north, Monticello, up into the Peru and Logansport area, we're dealing with the snow showers starting to move in, but it's really this band of snow in central Illinois that's going to come through later on this afternoon. That's going to produce most of the accumulation. Winter weather advisories posted from Indianapolis to the north throughout the day. The snow, it's a quick hitting system. It's not going to linger. That's the good news. But by late morning, early afternoon, snow across most of the area. The intensity picks up this afternoon. Then it starts to wrap up towards your morning drive. I think a key time is probably 3 o'clock onward as the sun starts to set. That's when things will start to slicken up pretty quickly across the area. So that's something to keep an eye on. I'll show you 2 models pretty quick across the area. And you notice that most of the snowfall totals are going to be in the 1 to 4 inch range with maybe a few isolated areas well to the north, picking up a little bit more than that. Bloomington down towards Seymour, it's probably about a slushy inch, and that is just about it. So it's not a major storm system for the day today, but once again, it will be enough, I think, this afternoon and eventually into the evening hours to slicken up the roadways. Once we get past today, though, it's pretty quiet with lots of sunshine. It's cold, though. Temperatures well below the average high of 44. We're only in the 30s through Saturday. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. The good news right now around the metro area, no crashes or major delays to slow you down. Let's take a look at your drive times. Planning it out for you in Hamilton County. Heading southbound on I-69, it's a quick 5-minute drive from State Road 37 to the I-465 ramps. Taking a look now in the downtown area. Again, we have some wet roads out there. This is I-65 and I-70 at the North Split as you're coming around the curve there, heading to Meridian Street and Pennsylvania. You can see traffic is picking up by all the headlights, but it's traveling smoothly. We'll keep you updated if you need to reroute this morning.
Apple and Johnson & Johnson are teaming up to see if wearable technologies like the Apple Watch can detect health problems before a crisis happens. Researchers are studying atrial fibrillation, or AFib, which is an irregular heart rhythm. AFib can lead to serious health problems like a stroke or cardiac event. As many as 6 million Americans have it. The study is open to U.S. citizens over over the age of 65 who have a traditional Medicare plan. Participants will be given an Apple Watch as a loaner, or you can buy one for $49. You can also earn cash rewards. We've got more information about the program and how you can sign up over on the RTV6 app.
The makers of Colgate toothpaste have unveiled a new line of organic, vegan, and gluten-free products. The line also has no preservatives, artificial flavors, sweeteners, or colors. Colgate Palmolive announced its Colgate Zero line earlier this week. It includes toothpaste, mouthwash, and toothbrushes. There's even a child's toothpaste. The company hopes to better compete with its largest competitor, Procter & Gamble, which makes Crest products. P&G owns several natural brands, including Burt's Bees Purely White and Native toothpaste.
Jif is attempting to end a great debate. The peanut butter brand is releasing a jar with its name spelled with a G instead of a J. According to the company, GIFs, the animated looping images, should be pronounced with a hard G, not a soft one. But the meme's creators say it's pronounced with a soft G, just like the peanut butter. You can grab one of those jars there on Amazon.
Very interesting. Well, one airline is making it easier for you to get those long flights. Todd, I think this is a story for you.
Yeah.
Coming up, a look at the new sleep pods and how you can indulge in one. That looks pretty nice. We'll be right back after this short break.
Days from 4:30 to 7.
Soon you won't have to fly first class to get a good night's sleep on one airline. Air New Zealand just unveiled its SkyNest. It's a group of 6 full-length sleep pods that will be installed on planes for economy passengers. The pods are about 6.5 feet long, and they include a pillow, sheets, blanket, earplugs, and privacy curtains. Right now, there's no word on how much extra it will cost you. The airline says it will be making more decisions on the SkyNest after it begins flights from Auckland to New York in October. Looks pretty cozy to me.
Yeah, this would be way better than my flight back from Hawaii, a red eye, and I couldn't recline my seat because I was up against the bathroom. That was a really long flight, so this looks really nice. Yeah, exactly. I think Todd Clausen would indulge in one.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know, I'm too cheap.
It's a little close for comfort, but I guess you are laying flat.
If you can use like a promo code to get it right.
Or something. So, all right, outside right now, it's a Storm Team 6 alert day as we're going to be dealing with accumulating snow. The snow is out there right now, but it really picks up as the day progresses. It's more of an issue, I think, for this afternoon and into the evening hours. That's when the wind will pick up as well and gusts to 30 miles per hour. And we'll see several inches of accumulating snow, probably about 1 to 3 inches here in the metro area, a little bit more to the north. Here's the snow that's falling right now, but what we really await is this band of snow that's in Illinois. This is going to rotate through, and it's this band that puts down most of the accumulation. We'll talk more about the snow coming up in the next hour of Good Morning Indiana.
It is controllable, and you can live your life.
An RTV6 exclusive, Terry Curry sits down in his first TV interview discussing his fight against prostate cancer, his routine to maintain a healthy lifestyle, and his message for other men. That story's coming up only here on RTV6.